Podcast twins.
We are back once again.
I'm Drew. That's Vince. Let's just jump right into it.
Let's go in, man.
What do you want to talk to? What do you want to talk about?
Well, you just took a great little business trip last week, so let's talk about it.
So Monday we load up the whole showroom here that you
all
see.
Of this.
Yeah, we had about 80% of it.
Wow.
We got our giveaway bags. We got all kinds of stuff. We just, big moving van. Me and Nick drive up in the moving van.
Right.
Lou and Alex come up in his car. And we worked about 85 hours this past week. Monday to Friday was Monday was kind of getting up there, getting situated,
right.
Kind of planning. Tuesday was demo day, which we don't go to demo day because we use that to go ahead and set up our booth.
Okay.
We have a 10 by 20 winners award group booth, and it was actually about 225% busier than last year.
Okay.
And
that's a good sign.
I attributed it to God. I said, look, God wanted us to be busy because otherwise it wouldn't have been 31 degrees in Orlando with black ice, whatever that is, and freezing rain. Because that would happen on Wednesday.
Isn't that the same thing?
Well,
black ice and freezing rain?
I don't know. But anyway,
that sounds racist.
It was freaking cold. Okay, forget about racism. I don't care what race you are. It was cold. Okay. It was cold whether you were black, white, or yellow, or pink, or whatever. So it don't matter. But so all of the head pros and directors of golf that allegedly might think about blowing off the show and going to play golf.
Right.
Not that any of our clients would do that.
No, absolutely.
Definitely not. But any of them that might have thought about doing that, no one's playing golf in those conditions.
Nobody.
Right?
I know I didn't. And I was down here where it's 10 degrees warm.
So we had 267 people in our booth last year. In 3 days. We had 231 on Wednesday this year. So, of course, it was a long week, a really good week for business. I love golf guys and girls. They're just professional. I mean, we've talked about it before, right? Like the people that play golf, they're very professional. I guess maybe the way you follow the rules and do the right thing in golf, it bleeds over into life.
Yeah, well, because you know what they say: if you cheat in golf, you'll cheat in life.
And everything.
So that's why we do that, and that's why I know certain people that are definite cheaters in life, because then some bitches will cheat in golf in a heartbeat.
So the show was a 12 out of 10 if I had to rate it on a 10 scale.
Good.
And then Friday afternoon is where things went sideways for me.
Talk to me.
So I try to be the good husband and father and say, babe, bring Tessa up on Friday.
Right.
Take my car because it's bigger.
Right.
Just bring my clubs up.
Yeah.
My buddy Brian Jones, who's a college, high school golf coach in Indiana and one of my best friends from college.
Right.
Is in town. You guys go to the parks on Friday and Saturday. I'll be at the show till late anyway. And I'll play golf with Jones on Saturday. We'll go do something fun on Sunday, and then we'll go home.
Right.
So I'm winning husband and dad points here. Big time, right?
Balling.
3/4 of the way up, they get stranded in St. Cloud because my alternator in my Santa Fe goes. So my alternator goes, it drains the battery to 0. I'm in the middle of talking to a new client and closing business.
Right.
And Nick gets a call because I didn't answer my phone and says, "Drew, it's your wife. It's an emergency." We got like 2 hours left in the PGA show.
Right.
So unfortunately, God bless her, my wife and daughter are stuck on the side of the road waiting for the tow truck, and the nearest mechanic is Pep Boys.
Okay.
So
usually pretty good. They were my go-to in the 90s.
So I don't know how much an alternator and a battery should cost, but I know how much she paid. And you know how they have those alleged rumors that women get taken advantage of when they go to a mechanic, especially if they're, let's say, stranded by themselves with their kids?
Absolutely.
So I'm not saying they did that, but I will tell you this. They put a new drive belt, which, you know what? I got 111,000 miles. I probably needed a new drive belt.
Probably needed a drive belt.
And I think a new serpentine belt.
Okay. Because if you change one belt, you change them all.
So they changed the 2 belts.
It's just like my hose. If you change one hole, you change all your hoses.
Let's just round down a little. It's around $1,000 for all of that, without the battery. because the battery they wanted $250 for, but I got my battery at Napa and it was under warranty.
So you could just take it back.
So she was actually able to get an Uber over to Napa.
Nice.
And then they put the battery. Oh, I'm sorry. They fixed the car. They charged what was little in the battery.
Right.
She drove it to Napa. They put the battery in for her. For $89 instead of $250.
You know what? I'm gonna say it probably wasn't the worst pricing.
Okay, and so but there's more. So she picks the car up they finally finish the car about 6:00.
Okay.
I get to the Airbnb before them. They get there about 30 minutes later.
Right.
Because we stayed at the same place when we had a suite with the whole team here.
Right.
And then Friday and Saturday we stayed at an Airbnb. We had stayed at this one before. It was good. We knew it was good. I know those things can be hit or miss sometimes, but this one we knew was good, and. It's like, okay, you know what? It was a horrible day. You didn't get to go to the park, but I'll drop you off at Magic Kingdom tomorrow at 8 a.m.
Boom.
Drop them off at 7:50 a.m. because I'm supposed to go play golf with Jones.
Right.
8 o'clock, my car does the same thing. The alternator they just put in died and sucked all the battery juice out of the brand new battery. So I'm now on the side of the road, still in like the parking lot area-ish of Magic Kingdom.
So you got them out though.
Yeah.
Okay.
So there, and so as my car is dying, Crystal calls me and says, Tessa forgot her purse. Can you come back? I said, no, I'm stuck on the side of the road, but you can walk here and get the purse if you want, because I'm not going anywhere. So
not going anywhere for a while. Grab a Snickers bar.
So I'm on the phone with Pep Boys. I'm on the phone with the tow truck guy. Really nice police officer comes over and knocks on the window, just making sure I'm okay, right? He didn't think I was doing anything nefarious. I'm kind of in the middle of nowhere by the monorail at this point. What am I going to do? Like, the worst thing I could do is if I had a pee emergency, I'd pee in the grass or something. Like, that would be the worst thing I could be doing. But, Disney security comes over. This guy's talking to me. I take it there. And now Jones cancels golf, and he comes and picks me up for lunch, and things kept going wrong. So I leave my car at Pep Boys. They're like, "Look, we're gonna make this right for you. We're really sorry."
Wait. You're on the side of the road at Disney, by the monorail.
No, I'm towed to Pep Boys.
So
I get towed to Pep Boys, and then Jones comes and picks me up from Pep Boys.
Boom, go
and
to
I'm
lunch.
like, and I'm like, Jones, let's just take as long as we possibly can,
right?
Because your flight's not till 6,
right?
And I'm not doing anything till I pick the girls up later.
Hang out.
So, we hang out, we have a nice long lunch. He's like, let's go to Hibachi. So we go to the Hibachi restaurant, and of course, my steak gets served, and what's in it but a hair that I nearly choke on, so much so that I almost threw up on the Hibachi grill.
Oh.
So I'm like hacking up a lung, and they bring they bring the bill. The manager hadn't even come over at this point. They bring the bill, and they're like, "Oh, we took 15% off your bill." And I said, "Really? That's not very acceptable."
15% per hair.
I said, "That's really not acceptable. Can you?" And then the manager comes over and gets in my face and starts arguing with me about how many pieces of steak I ate and how much rice I might have eaten before I got to the hair I choked on, and I was already pretty hot from Pep Boys.
Yeah, you were already pre-warmed up.
I went from 3 to 1,567 in 0.2 seconds.
Absolutely.
I think I escalated my voice so loudly that I believe the walls might have been shaking and the neighbors probably heard.
Yeah.
So then she tells me she's going to call...
I bet the neighbors know my name.
So then she tells me she's going to call the police.
Of course.
And I'm like, look, here's what I'll do. I'll pay for his lunch, pointing at my buddy. I'll pay for his lunch, and you'll take mine off. And then we're out of here. And then she keeps arguing. She finally gives up, so we finally get out of there. But I tell you, she probably saved the Pep Boys guy's life.
Right. Because you had already let all that go.
I get back to
As we call it, you shot your load.
I get back to Pep Boys, and this is a different Pep Boys. This is in Orlando, not the same one.
All right.
And the guy goes, the only thing we can't cover is the battery.
Gotcha. Charge it.
No.
No?
No.
Okay.
No.
You can't do it.
his alternator killed my brand new battery. My battery's 14 hours old.
Right. Oh, okay. He's saying I can't replace your $89
so I said,
replacement battery.
Well, and he wanted $250 for his, because his battery at Pep Boys is more valuable than the one that you buy from Walmart or Napa or wherever else. So I asked him. I'm like, thank God I already blew my stack at the restaurant,
right?
Because all I did was simply and calmly ask him a question, Vince. I said, well, is there any other possible thing in the car that could have drained the battery in 14 hours other than the bad alternator that you put in there?
Absolutely not.
He did not say absolutely not. He said, I'll be right back. And then he didn't try to charge me for the battery anymore when he came back. He just gave me my keys.
So he gave you a new battery from there.
He gave me a new battery from there.
And, as he should.
As he should. And
just like the manager should not have tried to charge you 15% for one hair.
But let's be honest. The most important part of this story is I didn't get to play golf on Saturday, and that pisses me off. Time out.
No, the most important part of that story is you didn't go to jail.
I didn't go. Well, yet.
The restaurant manager probably would have caught one, at that point, gonna come and get in my face over a piece of hair that came in the food that you prepared for me, and then you want to negotiate the price of 15% because I only had one hair because I ate that much steak.
Yeah.
Man, listen, that would have been a whole different ballgame. But hey, listen, so you didn't go to jail there.
I didn't go to jail from Pep Boys.
And then you didn't, they didn't harass you when you was on the side of the road. They politely came over and tapped on your window. Hey, man, that's a great experience in this economy, man. I'm telling you right now, I would have been scared to death. Come on, he coming over here. What am I doing?
Well, I was on the phone, and he actually was like, listen, do you mind just calling that person back?
Yeah.
And I said, look, I'm on the phone with the tow truck driver. Right. Can you wait 30 seconds, please, sir?
Yeah,
I was very respectful.
Absolutely.
And the guy was a sweetheart. I mean,
that's good.
And, he was, for whatever it's worth, he was a minority.
Right.
And I don't think that matters,
Hey, man, DEI, baby. DEI.
I don't think it matters.
He ain't going to have that job too much longer.
It is what it is. So... Go ahead.
No,
go ahead. Jump into DEI. Let's go. No. I got a DEI story for you.
We don't have
too.
DEI time on this episode.
I got DEI stories
we'll DEI
for you.
on the next episode. But because oh my God, that's a whole different ballgame.
Good. Good. I want to talk about anything you want. Anything you got, Vince.
We'll touch and tap. But I'm glad that you made the best of the bad situation. You got through it. And now you got because obviously the Pep Boys alternator and battery must.
Well, I got basically a brand new car at this point, right? I got a brand new car at this point.
You good for another
100,000 miles.
Man, so.
Well, I do need tires next, but that's that I can control because I'm not 200 miles away from my house with my wife and daughter stranded.
Yeah.
So
now I tell you what, I didn't play no golf this weekend. All the last week and a half because there was just absolutely no reason for me to go out there and torture myself in 35, 40 degree weather and saying this is so fun because it would not have been so fun. So I made the conscious decision to stay my ass at home and got some things done, but I got a lot done. Amazing what you can do when you get trapped in the house.
Man. I like it. What'd you get done? Tell us.
I cleaned my office had become the dumping ground of the house. I'll just set it here and I'll come back and get it. I'll set it here. Well, I sat it here for so long it literally became a storage room. So I pulled so much stuff out and put it in the hallway and I started reorganizing pretty much like you guys did in here.
Okay.
And so much so that people was like, my God, are you moving out? The garbage man asked me, are we moving? My neighbor was like, man, are you moving? I was like, no, that's one room I just cleaned out. Man, I had so much stuff because I got shelves like this. So, you got pictures from this golf tournament, that golf tournament, and trophies from the kids. And I had bags and bags and bags. I was just walking out to the curb. They're like, man, are y'all leaving? No, man. This is one room I'm cleaning out. But now it's a heaven again.
I think this conversation is why, they say people don't like Americans. Because what's your biggest problem you were working on recently is I had too much stuff.
Too much stuff.
Doesn't fly in a third world country, right?
Consumption, man.
That's why they throw darts at us from everywhere else.
Consumption. That office had become the consumption dumping ground, man. So I'm glad that That was the one benefit to being locked in the house, was that I got a lot done.
So you got a ways to go before you become a minimalist, but at least you made a dent.
No, but
at
now
least you made a dent.
It's back under control. It sparked my creativity again, and I was like, man, I'm ready to rock and roll, man. I could record in the room again, and right. I even ordered. I had some very nice hand drawn artwork that I had into some frames that was. I even ordered all new frames and hung all new. I'm like, who is this guy? Who the hell am I?
You know what? Now that your house is clean, we probably have to have another cooking episode, because I've had a half dozen friends call me up and tell me that deep dish pizza episode we did was one of the top episodes they loved.
It was a lot of fun. I watched that back and I just cracked up. I was like, man, we had a good time on that episode.
And then we had a good time on the golf course with Curfton, so we put a bunch of that video up too. That was pretty fun.
I haven't had a chance to watch that one yet. I'm very interested to see how that was going to turn out. But hey, man, listen, this is what we do. We take real life crap and we bring it here, put it on the table, and we try to solve the world's problems right here at this table.
What's the next world problem we're solving today?
I don't know.
Oh, you know what? Maybe you had all that energy from drinking hydrogen water. Because, we can revisit that topic right off. Because if you did all of that productivity while you were stuck in the house and you were laser focused, tell me about your experimentation with this bottle that we got from Ping.
So I will tell you this, and I am the number one skeptic of everything in the world. But I'm also into the research, as we did. I took my time. I did a few hours of research and came up with some good questions. And I said, okay. Told Drew, I said, man, I'm going to do it for 30 days and report back. Today is day 8.
Okay.
And I've been doing, as she recommended, 3 to 5 a day. Well, I've been doing 5 a day minimum. Mm-hmm. And
that's about a half a bottle of water, just for reference.
This is 11 ounces. And so 55 ounces, probably been doing pretty close to a half gallon for me. I've probably been doing like 64 a day out of my gallon plus.
And how does that compare to water? If you were just drinking water, does that replace the same amount? Or you find yourself drinking more?
Less.
Okay.
I'm drinking less water because I'm more satisfied. It sounds crazy. I promise you, I kept trying to chug the other waters the first few days, and then after that, I've been like, man, I'm very kind of good, like hydrated and doing stuff. And I'm like, man, this is placebo effect. There's no way these little damn bubbles in the bottom of this thing generated made me feel like these things. I track my sleep. I'm not what you would call an amazing sleeper. I'm a 4 hours, 4.5, 5 hour guy. I have been averaging 7 hours of sleep with, I'll tell you right now what I did last night. It was crazy. 7 hours and 24 minutes. I don't sleep that long, ever.
Okay.
And then it says the core sleep was 5 hours and 6 minutes. Deep sleep, 51 minutes. REM sleep, an hour and a half. And only up 8 minutes. Normally, man, come on. I'm one of those guys. I sleep 4 hours, 4.5, 5 hours. I'm up, ready to go. I have been sleeping deeper. And that's been probably over the last 5 days, not the first couple of days. But since then, and the reason I noticed it, because I was getting up, getting ready to go to shift one morning, and my alarm clock normally goes, whatever, and by the time it makes the second sound, I'm usually tapping it, cutting it off, not to wake up people in the house. That particular morning, it started so faint. Because I was in such a deep sleep, I couldn't hear it. And I was like, man, and it kind of woke up and whatever. It was still only maybe like 45 seconds to a minute. But normally, like I said, in the first second, I'm pounding this thing. So only thing I've done different is started drinking this water. And I said, man, at first I said, man, I'm going to sound like a quack. Or sound like a damn infomercial from the early 2000s. Call me now.
Oh, I'm already calling my rep in Ping's rep in China to get you an endorsement deal, man.
I'm trying to tell you, I am thoroughly impressed. because this started me to do even more research, and I
here we go. I get to learn.
Started
Teach
me doing even more research about it, and because I said it cannot be just all of that. And sure enough, they was like, I said, what? And so I asked ChatGPT, what's the first benefit? And it usually is relaxation and sleep.
Got it.
Then it's, I guess from there you get the sharper mind, antioxidant, which is probably where the anti-aging comes in, because you're sleeping better, because if you watch her episode, she says that the most important thing of it is the anti-aging effects. Well, that's probably why, because you're sleeping so doggone deep. Man, you wake up, you're in the streets in the morning talking about, I feel amazing. That particular morning, I made my coffee, I had it in my cup, and I'm on the way to work. And when I get to work, it was like 95% full. Mm-hmm. Normally, when I get to work, I'm filling it back up because I've already killed it in my little 40-minute ride from home to work. I was like, okay, I can't tell nobody this. Nobody's going to believe me. I'm in the car talking to myself saying nobody's going to believe me. So, listen, man. So I'm on record saying I am a believer in my water.
Well, I believe.
Google the 3 benefits for athletes.
Yeah.
For hydrogen water. Increase energy, reduce inflammation, and reduce recovery times after workout.
Mm-hmm.
Say it one more time, Curfton.
The joint says increase energy.
Increase energy.
Reduce inflammation.
Reduce inflammation.
And reduce recovery time after workout.
And reduce recovery.
I don't know anybody that doesn't want those three things. Do you
that's-
know anybody that
No.
wants those
And
things?
so, because if you recall, I was sore that day.
I remember.
And I just, started my regimen, and I was sore. And I tell you what, I want to try to start it when I do explosive stuff, because I haven't played golf because it was cold. But I want to try it as we're going to play golf. But as I've been lifting, now I'm into my 3rd week of the year lifting. And I don't know if I can say that recovery is going yet, because I'm still in that second stage of soreness. But I definitely can tell you that the focus on what I need to do is that much better. It's crazy.
I told you I had really long days at the PGA show. I had this bottle right here on we displayed it because it could also be a gift, right, for members or for clients or whatever the case. And I drank it on Wednesday and Thursday, the 2 longest days, and I felt like I was locked in and focused. I don't know if I had to be locked in and focused, so I was, or it was this, or it was both combined. But I'm going to roll with you on this because I'm playing pickleball Saturday morning.
Okay.
I'm playing pickleball Sunday morning, one-on-one both days. I got a golf tournament on Monday. So I'm going to drink it, and then by the time we do a few more episodes, I'll have an update.
That's it, man.
And we'll compare and contrast.
I tell you what, I'm a believer.
He's in.
I mean, because again, the wildest thing is like
you're sleeping better.
Your thirst is quenched. I don't need the 2 gallons of water a day to feel hydrated. I'm telling you, I've been doing anywhere, say 60 to 80, and with this, because I haven't really been drinking any other water, no other water.
Yeah.
I would go to the filter, boom, fill it up, run it for either 5 or 10 minutes, depending on how much time I got, and. So yeah, I gotta say I'm pretty much a believer right now. So I'm about to try to do some laser focus and turn this into some money or something like that, man. At this point,
Fair enough.
Why not take this increased focus
look, if
and
you're
do something?
If you're gonna talk about something you believe in and you can profit from it, that's all good with me. It's when you say like you're gonna start endorsing Pepsi or some bullshit, then we're gonna fight. But other than that, like we should make money if we're endorsing a great product. Absolutely.
Greg's gonna be pissed, but
love you too, Greg.
Yeah, but
your product stinks, but you're awesome, Greg.
Right, no doubt. Wow.
Why did I just throw the guy that named the show? I just threw the guy that named the show right under the bus and then back. Greg, I'm sorry. Let's go play golf and make up.
You know what? We might. This might be our first edit. We might have to get that one edited the hell out of here. We cannot live with that one. That's too big.
Why? Let's get the CEO of Pepsi in here and have him defend the fact that he don't let his kids drink the product. Let's have that conversation.
Yeah, listen, man. It's when you become a label reader, it's a whole different world, and things do change the more you start to read those labels.
Well, I tell you, the whole hydrogen water, you talked about anti-aging now, and you told me to watch a documentary
Sure did.
about, it was called Don't Die.
Don't Die.
And I watched a decent amount of it. I didn't finish it.
You got to finish it.
But the guy is aging in reverse.
Yeah, but did you see all the stuff that he was doing?
Yes.
Okay, so there is a such thing as extreme, which is what he's trying to do. But
Correct.
again, when you got that kind of money and you got no other...
and this is the guy that started Venmo or something, or bought Venmo or whatever.
And then eventually sold Venmo. So this guy's got money, hanging out the yin yang. But he was basically almost jealous of his son, because he was like, man, that guy's got the perfect body. I want that. And he started investing his money and working with all of these other things. But
he also said he was working his way into an early grave before he made all those changes.
He definitely
was overweight. He was out of shape.
His body. He transformed everything. But I will say this: the one thing that stood out, and the reason when I texted you that night, and told you boys to watch it, that was when the guy went to this company with that experimental drug and the gene drug, and they said he had somebody that was potentially wanting to be a sponsor, and he said, well, if that works, then I won't be able to do my procedures, and you're taking money out of my pocket. Why would I now sponsor you? I paused the video. I picked up my phone. I said, you got to watch this right now before we watch the episode.
Right.
I'm telling you, that was, when I saw that, I was outdone. I said, this is what it is. These companies are willing to kill us for their profit. And so...
isn't RFK fixing that now?
Hey, man, listen.
Isn't that the plan?
He did not look outstanding in his questions the other day.
Oh,
either.
yeah?
He did not look outstanding.
Look, he's a politician, so I automatically don't trust him.
But then when you got your cousin throwing you under the bus too, that didn't help you.
Well, yeah, but who cares what your... I fight with my cousins all the time. Who cares what somebody's
usually that's
cousin
at
says?
home over the dinner table, bro. You don't fight in the public eye and throw them completely under the bus.
You try not to.
But hey, man, listen. How we doing, man? We got some TikTok left. We good?
We're good. We got 5 minutes
left. All right, man. So here's what I'm gonna say about that, because God damn it, I said I wasn't finna go there, but here we go.
Drew throws grenade. Drew runs away.
So even people in my life are like, I'm like, well, I said I agree with like 90% of what he's saying, and they're running after me. Well, he's saying that he doesn't want any vaccines. I said he did not say he didn't want any vaccines. I said you're listening to the news.
He said he wants research
on every vaccine.
Yes,
even the ones that we took back in the day.
When we were kids, we had to take them all because they're otherwise your parents can't drop you off at school.
You can't go, and that's still the problem today. These people that are not vaccinating their children today, out of fear. They're going to have to make a decision when those kids get of school age. And we're not talking about public school age. We're talking preschool. If you don't have your shots, most of these preschools will not let you in unless you have a private preschool that runs their own show. So if you're going to make that decision to protect your kids from these vaccines, then you better have enough money to educate them or be ready to educate them at home, because that's the number one issue. So very similar to when COVID was happening. Why did most people take it? Because they were going to get fired from their job. They couldn't travel, and they were losing in the process of losing money. Every nurse I know that wound up having to take that vaccine was like, look, if I did not take it, they were going to fire me, because they fired. What they did for us is they said, hey,
they bribed you.
We're going to, because, here's $500.
They bribed you. I know, you told me.
And if you don't do this and you get sick, you're on your own.
Right.
And I'm like, man, and
I get it. I get it. No, and I probably am too cynical to have this conversation.
No, you're not.
Because I think, if they're mandated, right, like they are now, right, you have to have, and I think it's like 60 vaccines before you're 18 just so you can go to public school. Mm-hmm. So if they're mandated like that.
College too.
I would argue that a lot of them are probably bullshit. And a lot of them probably do more harm than good because there's no research on it for a reason. Just like there was no research on the COVID shots for a reason, right?
Yeah.
So I am cynical as it gets on this. I would like to see real research because I've seen doctors go on YouTube and say, hey, look, I run my practice with informed consent. Yeah. I tell and some get it, and the ones that the kids that are not vaccinated are actually healthier when they're 20 than the kids that were vaccinated. Right. So there may be some truth to that this guy's been silenced for 50 years because Big Pharma owns everything, right? They own our food supply, they own our water supply, they own our farms. And
Big Pharma owns the vitamin companies that produces the vitamins that we take because they were like, well, hey, people are going to feel like these are vitamins that's going to help you versus the drugs that we're going to produce. But the money's still going to the same pocket. It is absolutely unbelievable, man. And that's a whole different subject.
But the only way to stop it is not through legislation. I think we both agree on that. The real way to stop it is by us stop buying that crap, right? If nobody buys Fruit Loops, and we'll throw Fruit Loops up there because they say it's healthier than steak on their new food pyramid that they made up. But let's, Fruit Loops. It's artificial dyes. Yeah. It's shit you can't pronounce. Yeah. And it's chemicals and coloring and sugar and all this stuff that's not good for our children, your grandchildren. I don't have any yet. But your grandchildren shouldn't be eating that. But if the only way to stop it is not like RFK says we're taking Fruit Loops off the shelf or changing the ingredients, it's we stop buying that crap.
I wholeheartedly agree. And I'm a cereal lover. And I've been off the cereal habit for well over 15 years. But trust me, if you put a bowl of the honey bunches of oats, man, I destroy it. I love that thing. But anyway.
Well, that just proves that we're all addicted to the bull crap they're feeding us.
And that's really what it comes down to. But at the same time, because the parents of my G-Pips was like, well, I eventually want them to be able to go to school or whatever the case. I said, here's my plea. Go to your pediatrician and say, I don't want the cocktail. Why are you going to give this brand new baby one shot? You're going to load them up with all of these shots. I said, look, I want to take the same schedule as their grandfather had in 1971. If you give them that meant that we got the one at the hospital, the one at the 2 weeks, the one at the 4 weeks, and then 3 months, 6 months, whatever. At least they spread it out over the course of a year, as opposed to jamming it all in one and saying, well, it's better for the child because it hurts them less. Are you kidding me? How many newborn babies said, ow, that hurt?
Well, yeah, and, we can't go into another topic because we're running out of time.
All right, good.
But, I said to a friend of mine when we were talking about vaccines, I said, well, does that mean we're not supposed to trust that God gave the human body everything that we needed? And it led to a much deeper conversation than we'll get into now. But if I ask that question, at least it makes someone that may not necessarily see things the way we or I or you or whatever see it, maybe that's a different way to look. And he goes, wow. And, the question, and you got to know your audience, right? I know that he's at church most Sundays and he's a devout Catholic. And so, but that's the way my brain went. Of like, well, wait a minute, we're talking about this because he has G-Pips himself, right? 3 of them.
Okay.
And I said, well, what about? And we were smoking a cigar and drinking tequila, so I might have had a little buzz on, But that was kind of what popped into my head that night.
A little honesty juice.
And then it was, an hour-long conversation. So maybe we can talk about
that. We're going to open up with that one on the next episode of Podcast Twins. Right now, we want to thank each and every one of you guys. Make sure that you follow us and subscribe on YouTube. Make sure you follow us on Spotify. And we're going to be tagging it all over Facebook and Instagram. Thank you for your support. Please tag and share. We want to have as many people on here visiting with the identical podcast twins.
And tell us what you want to hear more about. If we're on track, tell us. If we're off track, tell us.
Hit us in the comments. Peace.